I was overweight and looked terrible, but AIDS helped me lose 46 pounds.
Hey, do you want to hear something weird? See, that's pretty weird, huh? I think so too. I'm glad you agree with me. So, my grandfather, he served at a tank battalion in World War II under General Patton. He'd tell us some interesting stories, right? So, during the invasion of France and such, so the way that they defeated the Nazis is like they would like when the Nazis weren't looking, like where they had their Panzer tanks and all that parked somewhere, what they would do is like they would get their keys and they would like scratch swastikas into the tanks. And like something else they would do is like when the Germans were driving, like they would like pull up and like just like cut them off and like forcing them to brake and such. And if they stopped, then they would like get out and they would like, you know, punch the tanks and tell them how totally not good they are, and you know, just cause violence and mayhem and such. And sometimes they would even like get like spray paint and they would like spray like half-assed swastikas and such. And like the Germans were like, man, this sucks. I don't want to be a Nazi anymore. I'm gonna go back to Germany, man. This sucks. And so that's pretty much how democracy prevailed over fascism and Nazism. And I wouldn't have believed that myself if I hadn't just made that up. Actually, he never said such an absurd story, but according to batshit insane people nowadays, you would think that that's how democracy defeated Nazism, right? By the same people who like couldn't even define what fascism is, much less actually differentiate between Nazism and fascism, because there is a big difference, right? Or, well, not huge differences, but there are differences. You know, Hitler never claimed to be fascist. That's as far as I know. I could be mistaken about that, but they were definitely compatible ideologies, but they weren't totally the same. Golly. I want to talk about something I kind of forgot to talk about in the March update. So, I know there's a lot of crossover traffic, I'm sure. Leona's Workshop, she did this video of how she was harassed by some crazy guy in Japan. And she got into this mess with the best intentions, I guess, because there was some, I think it was like some kid who lived in Germany who bought some stuff from E2046 and some resin kits, and the kid kind of got belligerent with E2046 people, and she thought that she kind of like maybe could mediate a little bit. Whatever. So it turns out like this kid in Germany somehow knows some incredibly unhappy person who lives in Japan, and because she had been active with E2046's forums, that she got to know people who work there. Now, in case you don't know, E2046, they are resin recaster, right? I have a few kits. I have built a few kits. I think I've only put them on Odysee, I believe. I don't think I've put them on YouTube. I could be mistaken. But like the Scarlet from G.I. Joe and the Shantae, those, actually no, there is one that I did put on YouTube. That was the the Asuka from Evangelion with her yellow dress. So yeah, there was at least one that I had put on YouTube. Most of them though have gone to Odysee, my channel there. And if you don't know, I do have an Odysee channel, and that is where you get 100% of my content, because I do have exclusive content on Odysee that you do not see here on YouTube. Anyhow, I have bought plenty of like legitimate kits as well, right? Since I live in Japan, I am able to get a hold of such kits. And of course, like, you've seen me doing a lot of the soft B kits, right? Like, you know, I'm almost finished with this, right? The Evangelion kit. And I have done like resin kits as well. And I'm not prepared to... Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I showed this on my channel like November of 22, I believe. This is a Dead or Alive Lei Fan kit, right? So I actually had a pre-order for this kit on E2046, and then I happened to come across this actual real kit on Yahoo Auctions Japan, and so I bought it. I canceled my E2046 pre-order. They were really cool. Excellent customer service, right? Yeah, but yeah, they are recasters, right? They do recasts of stuff. So her point that she made is, thanks to these recasters, they have been able to introduce so many people into the hobby, and otherwise it would be very, very cost prohibitive. And essentially for the longest time that was the only way for people to get into the hobby, unless of course they traveled to Japan. And even so, these resin kits, these garage kits, are not quite, they're not in like typical hobby stores. You need to know where to go. And like maybe a typical hobby store, they just have, you know, Gunpla and, you know, Tamiya kits and such, but they don't actually have any resin kits. Mulsanne in Maebashi City has a lot of resin kits, and I bought a few, at least one that I can think of, and yeah, it's down there. So anyhow, you might not know where to go, right? If you go to Mandarake, then you can probably find some resin kits there and such. So my stance on this is, okay, there's a lot of crossover with video games, right? I do video game content. I do actually probably do a lot more of that on my Odysee channel. Again, go check it out. Link is in the description and stuff. Alright, so I've been into, you know, Japanese gaming scenes since I was like in college or so. Okay, this game is called Batsugun. This came out in, I don't know, what year? Maybe 1996? Yep, 1996. I bought this brand new when I lived in Himeji, right? When I lived in Hyogo Prefecture, like 25 years ago. I bought this kit for I bought this game, Sega Saturn game, for 1,000 yen, brand new. If you're going to buy this game today, you're going to be paying like at least 10 times that amount. Maybe upwards of like, I don't know, 100 times that amount, perhaps. You know, going on like retro gaming forums and stuff, I see these. They must be like Zoomers, I guess, and they're like, oh yeah, Sega Saturn came out when I was born, and oh my gosh, I just got one, and I just can't wait to buy all sorts of games and stuff. And yeah, you're not going to be able to get this game unless you have a ton of money. I happen to buy this because I was into Sega Saturn frickin' close to 30 years ago. Right, I think I started my Sega Saturn collection in like 1998, right? And I bought a lot of games that were actually really cheap at the time, but now they've totally skyrocketed in price. Now, my point is, if you were to buy this game, right? This is a Total Plan game. Total Plan doesn't even exist anymore. Okay? Total Plan employees, they formed Cave, I guess. But yet, I think, like, no, this is actually Total Plan. This is actually this game, Batsugun. This is for Steam. That's what you see behind me here. But this is a port of the arcade. They actually made some changes to the Saturn version. So the only way you can get this Saturn version is if you play it through an emulator. Okay. Now I have RetroPie installed on my Linux computer here, and that's where I always put in different games and stuff, and over my shoulder to see if in the comments if people can identify the games and such. But yeah, the only way you're gonna play this, unless you have tons and tons of money to buy it, your best bet is to go through emulation. Now I'm bringing this up because, like, I live in Japan. I happen to get this for a decent price. However, if you don't live in Japan, you don't know how to get access to this kind of stuff, you're going to be paying a heck of a lot of money. Now, this is made by P-Unit. Do they exist anymore? I don't think so. Okay, so E2046, you could actually get this. I was on the... I had pre-ordered it, and I was waiting for like maybe 2 years or more. It took a long time, and I'm like, I actually canceled it because they have to get like a certain quota, and then they'll like they'll pop the batches with their molds and such. But yeah, that it might take you a long time. It might not. The Shantae kit that I built about a year or two ago, I got that on E2046 with the money that I had, I believe. Now, oh, actually, no, that was another. I think it was a R-Type model kit, resin kit that I wanted to buy, and then they canceled it for some reason, and the money I had refunded to me. I got the Shantae kit. Then I found out I could have actually easily bought the original from Volks. So I did a build of that on my Odysee channel, and I kind of felt badly because I'm like, I actually could have gotten that from Volks for a decent price if I had only known. I saw it and I figured it was probably just like a cast of like a toy or something or other. I don't know. But anyhow, for a lot of this stuff, even if you do track down the original kit and you pay a whole lot of money for it, especially if it's like Wonder Festival type stuff, you know, those one-off days where, you know, they sell a bunch of them and then they're gone, that creator is not going to be getting that money whatsoever. Just like if you pay like, you know, $500 for this game right here, Total Plan, they're not going to get the money. I mean, maybe if you get I got this like 900 yen or something or other on Steam, right? You know, they can get the money that way, not this way. So that's kind of my stance on the recasts. There's a whole lot of like really crappy Thai recasts. I don't know if eBay has cleaned those up or not. I don't know. They do like the soft B recasts are like really terrible as well, typically. But quite often a recast is the only way to get a hold of a certain kit. I'm fine with that. I know some people are really, really, you know, strict about that, but for me, I don't care. The thing is, though, is that I'm going back to what I started out saying, Leona, she was getting lots of flack. Now, there is this guy... she had made some enemies, apparently. She had badmouthed the Japanese garage kit scene a bit. She had some really valid criticisms. She had also had some valid criticisms about Japanese culture in general, which I didn't really take much offense to. Somebody's opinion, okay, whatever, I might disagree with it, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But she had also criticized, like, there's a YouTube, he got this guy, what was it? She was getting a lot of people pestering her for, well, how come you don't use enamel paints when you do the eyes on your resin kits or whatever? And so she's like, fine, I'll do a video on this. So she did it. She was kind of, she didn't really quite have the best attitude about that, but apparently that rubbed some people the wrong way. Plus, she had some fondness for E2046, and even though she doesn't really buy from them anymore, she has mentioned them. Actually, no. To be honest, a lot of times she had even avoided even mentioning that company. So E2046, they're in China, and China does kind of ignore international copyright laws and such. So yeah, there are some valid criticisms. If something I can get available, then like the legitimate thing, then yeah, I'd like to get it. But otherwise, I don't feel guilty about getting recasts. But she was getting, she was being like cyber stalked, and she had been doxxed or something or other. Really, really crazy. So I love Japan, and I find the culture a lot nicer. I can go to, even if I felt like going to McDonald's, I know that there's like 0% chance that like some idiot is gonna spit in my burger. It doesn't happen here in Japan. As a country that is completely not a Christian country, Japan has managed to cultivate a society of where people respect each other far more than the United States. Is that by far, definitely by far. Now that said, I must say that there is one hell of a lot of sexually frustrated people in Japan, like scarily so. And I can only guess that this was the motivation that this neurotic psychopath Japanese guy had, who had zero to do with his life other than to make Leona's life a living hell. And I really felt badly for her, but at the same time, I mean, she may have brought some of it on herself, but it's like, don't be a drama queen if somebody in Japan knows where you live. I don't know. I mean, there was like she was talking about a Discord group that where people were just saying just nasty things about her and such. That is really unfortunate. The only closest I've ever had to this kind of experience was it was a couple years ago, and some just unhinged, hate-filled leftist guy had thought that he had doxed me somehow, even though I had even like shared links to essays and stuff on my website with people on a forum. And so he followed those links, and he found like pictures of me and my daughter, and he was like saying all this crap. And even though I had said kind of where I live, he thought he was being clever and telling everybody where I lived and such. So yeah, this guy, and he was kept creating all these fake accounts just to give me hell. You get on the internet, especially if you decide to show your face, people are going to give you crap. And I've had death threats myself. If you speak up against like Islam, for example, the religion of peace, they will just peacefully threaten to kill you or encourage you to kill yourself. It's really just crazy. So for her, it's the internet. It sucks. It's really, really crazy. The funny thing is, though, is that, like, when I was a kid, if you wanted to dox somebody, everybody's listed in the phone book anyways, right? So you get the frickin' the white pages, and you can look at people's names and you get their phone number and their address and such. The thing is, though, is that you didn't have any way of, like, broadcasting that over the internet like you can now. It just depends on who's receiving. Now, she was saying that, like, she felt like threatened, her life was threatened, and I don't think anybody in Japan is going to, like, do anything to her in, like, Mexico or something. It's just I don't know, that part didn't really make any sense to me at all. So April is today, as of recording this tonight, it is April 1st. So big news in April was Jeff Bezos sent up a bunch of shrieking hysterical women in a rocket ship shaped like a dildo. I didn't even know this until like a few months ago, like before this happened. Somebody mentioned this, and I looked up a picture of that thing, that blue sky or whatever it's called. That it's a rocket ship that looks like a dildo. It looks like a freaking sex toy. It's so funny. And then the only name I recognized was Katy Perry, because she's that. It's where she used to, like, I think she got her start like doing like country gospel music or something or other, and she's like a preacher's kid, and then she went off the deep end and started doing all this weird satanic Illuminati shit and such in her music videos, and now she like prances around half naked and dances like a slut, and her music sucks. She's the only one I recognized in that group of pinhead women who went up into space, or even though it wasn't technically space. It looked like they maybe got up as far as like maybe a little bit higher, I guess, than an SR-71 Blackbird could go, I guess. They got up high enough to feel weightlessness, but they didn't go like into outer space. They just kind of went up into like the super upper atmosphere. I'm jealous. That would be really cool, fantastic. I mean, I have to take lots of Dramamine because I got a tender tummy. I sometimes want to puke when I'm on airplanes, man. Especially if it's like a bumpy landing and such with all the turbulence. I can get pretty close to feeling like I'm gonna puke. My daughter's even worse. Definitely much worse than I am. She gets car sick real easy, and I don't. But it's cool that they went into space. However, they made a big deal of it, like they had accomplished something. Like, you're not astronauts. What are you going on about? And then they were like, this is so empowerment and going on all this goofball feminist bullcrap. And it's like, what? Why are you going on about this for? You didn't do anything. You took a ride. You're like, well, you shouldn't call it a ride. It's not a ride. We really accomplished. No, you didn't. You didn't do crap. What the hell are you talking about? Oh my gosh! And then Katy Perry, when she gets out of the capsule and she like kisses the frickin' dirt and stuff. It's like those astronauts that Joe Biden had stranded in space for like 9 months or however long they were. They didn't even act like that. What the hell? And they were saying like, oh, they're like, look at us, we're such bold women. But like the audio that I heard, they're like just shrieking and screaming the whole time. It's like they're in a roller coaster or something. Oh my gosh. The second thing though is that all these people are a bunch of global warming phonies that like perpetuate the hoax that like carbon dioxide molecules will somehow end all life on planet Earth and in like this big inferno, even though there was more carbon dioxide in the air during the Ice Age. Maybe it's because it was frozen and there weren't enough trees to absorb the carbon dioxide. Hmm. Maybe that's why. And this is like, you know, thousands of years or whatever before capitalism was even a thing. And so it's like, it's like woolly mammoths and crap walking around. Gee, isn't that interesting? So, what else? In April, freaking Disney. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna go into that whole Snow White crap, but I think that was April or end of March, I can't remember, but it's been fun kind of laughing at all that stuff. But apparently Disney is now super duper hurting for money, and as a result, they're going to be releasing the original unscathed Star Wars A New Hope in the movie theater. Interesting, because Lucasfilm told us like 20 years ago or more that they no longer had that movie, and it was lost because when they made the special editions, they like made all of the changes to the actual original film. And then, oh golly gosh, we just don't have it anymore, right? So Kathleen Kennedy, evil bitch, I don't use that word very lightly, but she's so stupid. Oh my gosh. She told everybody, like, oh George, Mr. Lucas, what should we tell them? People, they're demanding the original movies before you screwed them up with all the Greedo shoots first crap. And then George Lucas is like, let's just tell them that we don't have the original anymore because we used it to make the special editions. And so Kathleen Kennedy tells us all that that's what happened. Silly as hell. Yeah. But now all of a sudden, oh gosh, now they have the original movie and they're releasing it theatrically. I guess it's coming out. Pre-sales are coming out in May or something other. It's going to be in theaters in June. I find that really hilarious because, of course, they said they no longer had it, and then of course now B, it just shows that they're really desperate for money because Disney is hurting super bad. Get woke, go broke. Apparently, that is, or the other phrase, everything woke turns to shit. So like my daughter was asking me, well, so what's the big deal about the Snow White thing? I'm like, okay, look, what's your favorite Disney movie? She liked, she said Rapunzel. And, in Japan it's called Rapunzel. I think in America it's called Tangled. And I said, okay, look, imagine that movie if they do a live action version of it, but like Rapunzel was now like a black woman. And she laughed, right? And I'm like, that's exactly it. Snow White is not supposed to be a Hispanic girl. They could have at least gotten like a pretty Hispanic girl who doesn't have a creepy ass mouth or something, but that's what they chose to do. And that's just really stupid, and they're doing it just to piss us off or something, just to show us how much they hate us. And so yeah, she didn't like the idea of Rapunzel being black, and then the next day I found out that they were going to do like a race swapping movie with Rapunzel being black in a live action movie. Oh my gosh. It's just like, with these people, you think of something stupid, right? Like I thought I had this idea like, how can you sound like a complete moonbat? And I had the idea, okay, mowing your lawn is racist. And then somebody said, actually, no, that was an actual thing. There was like a New York Times column or something other about like gentrification or some bull crap like that. And there's like talking about how mowing your lawn is like privileged and racist and stuff. I'm like, oh God, what? there's no way to get ahead of this. It's just so stupid. Even if you did get ahead of it, like in terms of Babylon B, it ends up coming true anyways. It seems it's totally crazy. So yeah, Disney, go to hell. I would be very tempted to see the movie though. It might be in Japan. I don't know. It's like, gosh, should I give money to Disney? I mean, I bought some Star Wars kits from Bandai. I got like this bag of like potato chip snacks with Star Wars crap on it a couple of months ago, and actually I need to eat that up. I'll put that in my next Japanese snacks video when that comes along. But I don't like sending money to Disney, but I don't know. I'm very tempted. Very tempted to see Star Wars, the original, unedited. By the way, watch Harmy's despecialized versions. The color saturation is just so much better than like the Blu-ray, for example. My God, it's so beautiful. Like Luke Skywalker's lightsaber in A New Hope is actually blue, which is like a dumb detail that they kept overlooking with like the specialized versions in '97 and then the DVD release. And I think the Blu-ray release is just more of the same. It's like this washed out white color instead of like a nice blue color as it's supposed to be, because like when he gets to the Empire Strikes Back, all of a sudden his lightsaber's blue. Disney, Lucasfilm, yeah, don't get me started. So it's tempting. I don't know if I'll see it or not. I might. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, what else in April? Freaking the UK, they want to darken out the sun. Oh my gosh, as if it's not cold and miserable enough as it is there. I've never been there. I mean, I don't want to go to the UK, that's for sure. In any country that like freaking like, bing bong, right? And you got those stupid UK police officers that are dressed up like freaking taxi cabs, and they're like, "Hey, oi, right then, look here, mate. You've been posting some offensive memes online, right? How would you like it if you were a filthy, degenerate scumbag living off of the government, and all you want to do is rape little kids and stab people in peace? But you got some wise ass posting these offensive memes online, and they hurt. How would you feel about that? That would hurt your feelings, wouldn't it? Right? Right then, we'll have to just put these handcuffs on you and take you in downtown. What? A cab, right? All cops are bastards. As far as I'm concerned, in the UK, every single police officer is a piece of shit. The way that they. Oh God, don't get me started. But yeah, they want to darken out the sun to fight global warming. Not even Cobra Commander could even think of something that evil and heinous. That's just insane. That is so sick. But the other big thing in April, PewDiePie came out with a video and talking about how he switched to Linux. Nice. Very cool. So he talked about his installing Linux Mint, which is the one that I would recommend anybody using first before anything else. Now there are, like, if you use one of those Steam Decks and you really like that OS, there is a Linux, I forget what it's called, but it's very much like the Steam Deck OS on your desktop, except that it's like really woke, unfortunately, and I don't want to get into that right now, but yeah, he switched to Mint, which is what I use. For all of you Windows refugees, that's the one to go to. I would definitely recommend it because it's very popular. It has a wide user base. It's not going to go away, because a lot of these Linux distributions, they just kind of go away after a while. He also installed Arch Linux on his laptop, and that's cool and all, but he even talked about how his F keys on his keyboard, like only 3 out of 12 worked. That's Arch for you. Don't do Arch, man. That's only if you're like, you know, you're really masochistic, or you're like extremely, you know, particular with how you want everything to be exactly the way you want it to be. For me, I just want something to work, and I don't have to, like, you know, freaking go to school just to learn how to use my own home computer. But yeah, he made the switch, and it looks like he's not going back, and I'm really happy about that. I would encourage everybody, switch to Linux, man. I can't stop being such a Linux snob, but I know that the Windows, they have finally caved in and changed their mind about their stringent TPM requirements, but still, don't go with Windows 11. Try to make the switch to Linux, and do it before October, before they pull the plug on supporting Windows 10. Get your feet wet with it first, before that happens, and see how it goes. Okay, so anyhow, let me show you some stuff that I always show this kind of crap every update video. So let's get started, okay? Yeah.
I feel plastic. Hey, hey, hey.
I have to admit, I am not nostalgic for Matchbox model kits at all. I never built any when I was growing up. This is my first one. So I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I bought this off of Yahoo Auctions Japan, I think. Pretty sure. Honestly, I can't remember how I got this. Well, so I started putting this together, and I don't mind the mismatching bizarre colors and all that, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I mean, just look at this empty space back here. It's just crazy. And of course there's no instrumentation or flight yoke or anything. Well, okay, but got this huge hole in there. It's ridiculous. And this is, I mean, this is forgivable, I guess, but like the wheel wells on the inside of the nacelles, it's nothing. Oh my gosh, it's nothing. So I had this idea of doing a Lockheed F-5E in a Republic of China Air Force. So the F-5E was like a reconnaissance plane. So it has no armaments, and it has like these teardrop shaped cowlings with like cameras and stuff, I guess, on the sides. Well, okay. I mean, I suppose I could just you know, get some plow plate and kind of fashion something from there. I mean, that wouldn't be too difficult. I don't know. It's just that, of course, the turbochargers go up here. Now these F5Es are mostly converted to P38Js. Now they don't have any armaments, so I guess I won't be attaching the rocket pylons. I guess that's what you call them. I don't know. And actually, I would need to remove these. I've already glued these into place. I'm gonna have to like run some glue on here to pop these off, because I got these decals that go down on the sides here, and these vertical stabilizers will interfere with that. It'd be easier just to put the decals down and then cut them off and then stick these stabilizers down on there. So I kind of made a mistake that way. I don't know, man. I guess I'll just go ahead. Like, I can maybe slip some plot plate in there, paint it green, maybe put a little box in there like that. I don't know what that is, like a radio box or whatever that goes in the back, and just be done with it. I don't know. I mean, they're neat kits, I guess. It's just, for me, there's no nostalgic value whatsoever. If somebody gave me this kit, I'm really sorry, I forgot. Now, the P30 or the P40N, I got that from Gyrus. I definitely remember getting that from him. I'm pretty sure I got this from Yahoo Shopping or Yahoo Auctions. Unfortunately, there's no instrumentation panel on this thing at all. Nor is there a flight yoke. It's just this guy with his hands on his lap. But I don't know. I guess I might just fall forward with this. See what I can do. Come up with like a little teardrop shape thing, and duplicate it on either side. And as for the nose, the nose, of course, as you can see here, has guns. But if I kind of plug that up with putty and smoothenate it, I guess it might be alright. But I was thinking about putting this on my Odysee channel as just a Odysee exclusive build. And I don't know. So I am doing a P38J, the Hasegawa one, on Odysee. That's an Odysee exclusive. So yeah, let me show you these decals here. They have like 3 different versions you can do, but it's going to be olive green, Gary, and silver, and of course there'll be white on there. It says paint white before decal in 1/48 scale. Well, this is the 72nd scale. But let me show you these. These are by Best Fong, and Best Fong does a lot of really cool Chinese Air Force, Republic of China. Not the People's Republic of China, but Republic of China. So he's based out of Taiwan. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I got 3 different versions. So I got these little smaller ones here go on the nacelles here. So that's what this is. So okay. Oh yeah, the propellers and such, and these drop tanks. I don't think I need these drop tanks actually. I don't think they would be necessary. I'll have to look at more reference photos of the F5s, I guess. So the dilemma I've had with buying the F4EJ Kai by Fine Molds right when it first came out is that it was pretty boring. And then, no idea what that noise is outside. My neighbor's doing crap. Sorry about that. Anyhow, so, yeah, the interesting designed ones didn't come until later. So I was like, oh crap, I should have just waited, man. And that's why I still haven't gotten the F15J yet by Fine Molds, even though I would really like to get that. But anyhow, Yodobashi Camera had 1 of these left in stock. And well, it says Fujimi, Hasegawa, Italeri, Revell, Tamiya applicable kits. I'm sure this will work just fine on the Fine Molds as well. This came out before the Fine Molds kit was ever released. So this is DXM decals, and it's by Cartograph. Isn't that nice? Of course it is. This is what you get. So I'm gonna open this up. Let's take a look. So yeah, Cartograph from Italy, right? It's like the best decals ever, alright? Oh my golly. I imagine there are placement, yep, placement and coloring. Alright, you get placement and coloring instructions, and that's great. That is fantastic. 62, 61, oh, these are the decals. Okay, so you got fuselage color is just going to be black, and then the semi-gloss black. And I really can't tell the difference, really. I guess I can. Right, so like the nose is going to be semi-gloss. Okay. So there you go. Pylons and such. Got all sorts of decals to go on those. And here we go. Oh man, that totally just freaks my eyes out. That looks so cool looking. And we got these little stripies. Wow, you get the whole shebang here. Shebang, is that a word? That's a Cyndi Lauper song, wasn't it? So, yeah, 302nd Squadron F4 final year 2019. When actually, yeah, that was the other squadrons retired their Phantoms the next year in 2020. Which reminds me, I should mention that yes, I have been working on those other Phantoms, just very slowly, here and there. I really need to get back to those because it's been quite a long time. So anyhow, how cool is this? Look at those feathers. That's amazing. But yeah, it's got like all the other stuff to put on there. It's got the position lights, for example. So I'm not really sure how much of the actual fine molds decals I'll be using. But at least I've got these decals. Isn't that great? So in this way, I'll be able to build a really exciting Phantom after all from fine molds instead of just a basic boring one. Yeah, great stuff. Here's a package from Hobby Link Japan. So with my birthday discount, I got a few things. Oh wow. They use this box for just these. Oh well, I mean, at least it keeps it safe. This stuff is photo etch after all. Edward. Made in Czech Republic. Okay, so beaver.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
It's listed as beaver, which is it is beaver, I guess, but Edward is the one that makes this stuff. Photo etch for here's like the F2B. Alright, now this is the Hasegawa kit. I got a couple of F2A, for example. Alright, so you're like, what's an F2? Mitsubishi F2. Alright, so this is the Japanese self-defense. So you got these really neat photo etch here. This is like going into the... Oh, that's cool. It's for your for the engine parts. Okay, and you got the pedals here. Alright, so let's look at the decals on this kit here. So let's just compare the two. Alright, now this is really awesome. Alright, it's got the digital camouflage here. Alright, so let's just double check here. Alright, so here let's compare the two here. So there's the consoles here in the cockpit. And we have photo etch replacements, which is pretty cool. And what's really cool about the engine inserts, though, that is really, really nice. And then, oh, what is this? I imagine those are seatbelts. I'm not sure what those are, actually. You know, let's just go ahead and open one of these up. I mean, I'm not going to open up both of them, but... So the F2B is, and I have an F2, well, actually F2AB. You can choose which one you want. F2B is the two-seater version, right? All right, let me, where did I put that? Here it is. All right, so they list this as Beaver, but actually it's Edward. Which, I mean, they have a good relationship between the two companies, right? So, like, I met the president of Edward. It's been many years ago. But, yeah, actually I walked with him back to the Shizuoka station. After we had spent a lot of time talking at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. So let's pull this out. I'm sure it has instructions. Oh, what's this? Maybe that's for the HUD or something. Got some clear parts there. There we go. Let's open this up. Oh, come on already. Do I have to take it all out? What is going on here? I hate you. There. Alright, now it's coming out here. Let's just go ahead and take this out here. Oh, hey, look at that. You got the pull ring for the ejection seat on that. That's nice. That is nice. Okay, so let's look to see what we got here. Alright, you got like this color-coded instructions on what to do. There we go. So, parts to be removed, I guess that's red, and then fill in the holes, maybe that's green, and then blue, and okay. So yeah, here they are. So this is the engine inserts. That's really cool. So yeah, this will really help spruce these kits up, right? Because of course Fine Molds has come out with you know, superior stuff, superior F2 kit, and I don't know what that is. Oh, it's for the cockpit. Okay. Huh. So you got these things here to go onto the inside of the... Okay. Does it have the back mirrors, I wonder? The rear view mirrors. Oh, look at that. It's got like a... Okay. So you can cut that off here. And you put the photo etch replacement on there. That's interesting. I put this onto the seat to spruce it up. That's cool. Yeah, lots of different parts to... So you don't have to get replacement resin parts for the seats. You can just use this photo etch to liven it up. But that's really cool. What about parts 27? What does that do? Where's parts number 27? 26. I don't see it. Where does that go? 20, 26, 32. I don't see it. Yeah, so I don't know where those go. Oh, maybe it goes here. Yeah, okay, it goes on there. Alright. So, oh, you're supposed to cut this off and then make a little box out of the photo etch and then stick that on there. Okay. So you got 1 and then 2. So this goes on there and then that goes on top of that. I see how that goes. Okay. Now I would definitely use this glue here. High grade model glue by Cemendyne. I use this as a canopy glue as well. It's good for working with photo etch, and it doesn't glue so instantly as, you know, CA glue, for example, which can be rather annoying and inconvenient. And yeah, the stuff is really good. Or you can use, of course, white, you know, regular white glue. That is an alternative as well. Alright, so I'm going to put this away. This is cool, because this is like, I didn't quite notice everything that this is included in this kit here. So that is really nice. So I got these sets, I got the 5% birthday discount. Alright, so I had like 1 month after my birthday to use the discount. And these are only like just a few hundred yen each. Right, these are like maybe 600 or 700 yen at the very most. Alright, so this has got the F2A, the F2B. And what else we got here? This is the T2. Well, what is the T2? Alright, the Mitsubishi T2 is maybe something you're not familiar with. This is the T2. This is the former Blue Impulse. Now, the Blue Impulse does not use. They do not use these anymore. Actually, it's I think it's the. Oh shoot! What are they? The T3, I think it's called, or T4, I can't remember. I think it's made by Kawasaki, I think. And not the Mitsubishi, but anyhow. So this is an older kit. I think it has raised panel lines even. Yeah, it does. But it has nice decals and everything. So, quite extensive decals or photo etch on here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I got with my birthday. Yay, birthday discount. Got another package from Hobby Link Japan. Oh my gosh. Alright, so little air pillow thingies. Sankasha Tai Shuchu. What is this? Hobiton. Okay. Oh, well, this is in Tokyo. Oh, I won't be able to go there. That's July 12th. That's pretty cool, though. That's cool crap. Look at that. The frickin' Japanese F-14 Tomcat. Nice. I'm sure this is photos from the previous year. Wow. Cool. That's cool. It'd be fun to go, but I'm not gonna go. Alright, so I got alright, so I need some more of these aluminum sticks by wave, right? This is 1.5 millimeters. I ran out. Alright, so now this is Edward Beaver Corporation. They make photo etch for F-15Js. And there we go. If I can, come on. Well, anyhow, Do I have to open this? Come on already. Son of a motherless goat. Alright, have it your way. Have it your way. And so they have, in place of the decals, you can use their photo etch. What the heck? I didn't cut it close enough. Gosh. Alright, be that way. Fine. I was in the mood to cut it twice anyway, so there. Alright, so if I may, so it's got like those little clear thingies there. Alright, here they are. Oh, that looks pretty nice. That does look pretty nice. So they've got the instrumentation, right? You got these little inserts for the engine cans. Got some of this neat crap here, right? This little vent or whatever, and I don't even know what these are. Let's take a look at the instructions, shall we? Of course we shall. Alright. I didn't do this the last month update, right? I did buy a bunch of these. I got for like the T1. No, I'm sorry. It was the T2, the Mitsubishi T2. All right, so yeah, so I knew what that was about, and this. Okay, cool. It's got like the rear view mirrors for the inside of the canopy. That's cool. Got some level up detail for the landing gears, and that's cool. Got some neat stuff here. Yeah, so I knew where this one went. I knew that one. You're looking at the upside down. And okay, so you remove the antenna. So you use, oh, never mind, it's not upside down. I'm holding it upside down because I'm silly as hell. So number 28. Number 28, part number 28. There's 8. And then there's the 28's kind of fit inside there. Oh, this is it right here. Boy, that's super thin. I don't know, man. I kind of like the plastic better, maybe. But okay. I don't even know where these go. This goes inside. Oh, it goes on along the inside. Okay. That's what this part here is, part 12. Parts 11 and 12. Okay, you glue that all along on the inside the cockpit. That's cool. Alright, so you're getting some sidewall detail for the cockpit. And that is righteousness, I think. And yeah, and you got the film. That's what you saw there, the clear film for doing the heads-up display thing here. Alright, that's cool. Oh, we got more crap here. Alright, this is for sprucing up the stuff here. Alright, so you got the seat belt, you got this little detail here. That's cool. I have a bunch of resin parts though, so maybe I don't even need this, I guess, but still it is pretty cool. So 18. Hey, there it is, right there. Yeah, they're colored and everything. The yellow with the black stripes. I like that. I like that. That's really cool. And I don't know what part 25 is, but that looks pretty cool. I don't know what that is. So yeah, it upgrades your ejection seats as well. Here's 25. This is what I was looking at. And then, where does this go? Where does that even go? Oh well, I guess whenever I build my next F-15, I'll figure it out when that time comes. Still, yeah, Beaver Corporation, right? They're based in Japan. It's owned by the same, Hobby Link Japan, same owner. And yeah, there you go. So they have a deal with Edward in the Czech Republic, right? So they're good friends. So I think I mentioned in the last video, right? So the president of Edward, I forget his name. Got to talk to him for quite a while. We walked to the station. Anyhow, as I was saying, I was at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. This is like close to 10 years ago or so. We were at the Shizuoka Hobby Show, and he and I, from the venue to the Shizuoka station, we walked together and talked. Anyhow, so this showed up in my email. Hobby highlights. I was really pleased to see that, and the email said, "Hey, you'd be selected for getting a exclusive magazine." I'm like, oh, that's cool. I hope that they did that, because I got that email after they had mailed it to me, and I'm like, oh crap! I sure hope I get that magazine. So, you know what that means. That's right, it's magazine time. So, exclusive access to more of what you love. This is Scott Hards. This is cool. Easy steps to gorgeous Bishoujo models. Oh my gosh. Volume 22? Oh, I thought this was a brand new magazine. I guess they've been making this for a while now. Wow! Holy crap, I just burped, and then I burped again, and then I'll have to stop doing that, but anyhow, so, dudes, holy crap, who says you don't get enough cool English language hobby magazines and stuff? I mean, so this is coming straight from Japan. This is Hobby Link Japan's exclusive magazine, and you get neat Japanese model kits being covered that you don't see so much in Fine Scale Modeler and such. And oh my gosh. Bishoujo plastic models, also known as Bipla. Okay, that's a new word for me. So that would be like, like 30-minute sisters, or full frame arm girls and stuff. Alright, so how you can make them look cool. That's cool. They got like the loose socks from the 90s, the 80s and 90s. The girls used to have those slouchy socks. I wonder if that means it's coming back in style now or something. I don't know. So... oh, okay, cool. So what are they using here? Real touch marker. Blend the pink color. Okay, blending pen. Dude, I see. I didn't even know you had that. That's really cool, man. I had no idea. So real touch marker brown, right? So I mean, they got like Gundam real touch markers and stuff, right? So, so here we go. This must be that that pink one that I mentioned. So, and also the Lascivus. Dude, I have that. I totally have it. I haven't even used it yet, I don't think. Or maybe I did a little bit, actually. It's dusty. Yeah, Lascivus decor, right? It's kind of like, you apply it like cosmetics. Yeah. Okay. This is a cool article. That's cool. That's cool. And more of this stuff. Okay, so what else they got here? Yeah, these are the guys who work at HLJ. Golly. Alright, so one of the guys at HLJ, he said that he found the old Nostromo soft B kit from Alien that was, who made that, not Halcyon. What are they called? I can't remember the name of the company now. But he found it like in a pawn shop here in Japan. And for like 2,000 yen or something. It was just like on a shelf. It's like, dang. Wow, really? So Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I went to lunch. It's been like many years ago, but I did a video. It was like one of my update videos. I showed my trip to Hobby Link Japan. That looks delicious, man. Let's try making a dish from Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay. Okay. A big piece of meat with melted cheese on it. Kick ass, dude. Alright. It's like block bacon or something. Oh, look, it's Kirby. Holy crap, it's Kirby. So Scott Hards, right? You know him. He did the translation for the Snatcher game on the Sega CD. How cool is that, right? Oh man. So yeah, I think I annoy him. I don't know. he's a cool guy, I guess. It's just that I don't know where I stand with him. I don't know. I think I annoy him, but oh well. What can you do? See if there's anybody else I remember from here. Alright, so what do we got here? Recommended model kits of the month. So this is like, you know, the different employees and what do they like? What do they like? The Art Plus Sculpture Works Evangelion. So I think these are like non-posable, like sculpture type plastic models, I think. Super Cobra, damn. By Trumpeter. That's expensive. Red Sonja. Oh, by X, what are they called? X Plus. Yeah, they make some cool figures and stuff. Very cool. And then I burped again. Why is that, man? It's like three times, man. I just keep burping. What the hell? 4. That count of four burps. At this point, you're just like, was just listening to me burp. I'm not really talking about anything else. Honda Civic by Hasegawa. That's cool. Really, really cool. Alright. Okay. And then, oh my gosh. Pukin' Dogs. Oh, fine molds. So, like, okay. So this is like fine molds version of the same kit, right? I'm currently still making slowly. I've kind of forgotten about it for quite a while, but Jolly Rogers, okay. Oh look, here's some techniques and crap. So, salt masking. First brush on water mixed with a small amount of neutral detergent. Interesting. I kind of gave up on the salt weathering when I was using acrylics because it just wasn't working out for me at all. Didn't like it because it was getting all splotchy and blotchy. I think it might work better with lacquer paint, but anyhow, brought to you by HLJ.com. Isn't that cool? Yes, that's very cool. It says take free, not for sale. Well, I guess I'm not going to sell this then. Neat. This is the May 2025 issue of Scale Aviation. Oh my gosh, it's all about the Jolly Rogers Legend of Skull and Bones. But not that Skull and Bones that you might be thinking of, right? Like the George Bush and John Kerry stuff. And oh my gosh, look at that girl's ass. Isn't that great? So yeah, scale aviation. It's all about aircraft, of course. Duh. Well, you always get like this really. Oh my gosh, they don't make Japanese girls the way they used to, I guess. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's pretty, I guess. Although her eyes are all kind of weird looking. I don't know. She's pretty, but whatever. Yeah, every episode, every issue, they always come out with like a little fold-out poster and stuff. Oh, look at that. The Jolly Rogers. Well now, so what do we got here? What are they going to be focusing on? I'm sure it's going to be the... Well, actually, first of all, you get like this history of Jolly Rogers. This is cool. This is really cool. I could probably spend quite a long time to try to translate all of this, but yeah, here you got the... What are we looking at here? Is that a Phantom? No, it's not a Phantom. What is that? Number 3. That's a VF61 McDonald F3H2M Demon. That's right. Now that's a Phantom, and then of course that's the Tomcat. Oh, I'm sorry, the Tomcat and the F-18 Hornet. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what? They got a Crusader here. Is that the? Yeah, it's a Crusader. So yeah, they went from the Crusaders to the Phantoms to the Tomcats to the F-18 Hornets. All right, so what is this? Oh my gosh, it's a Tamiya 48th Tomcat. Yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away. They're super popular. They really are super popular. Tamiya did a good job with that. But it just makes me want to just build other Tomcats because I see everybody else doing this kit, you know? And is it supposed to be that glossy? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Alright, so what do we got here? What else we got? What replacement landing gears looks like? Okay. Da, 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 da. Here's the Super Hornet. 48 scale. Mon model? I don't know who that is. Not familiar. Oh, Meng. Yeah, Meng. Yeah, they yeah, it's actually Meng. Goofy Chinese people don't know how to... They don't know what to do with vowels, apparently. Here's a Phantom. 72nd scale fine molds Phantom. That's beautiful. That is really beautiful. I skipped a page here. Oh, this is just the continuing with the same Phantom. Actually, no. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the fine molds. Sorry. Okay. This is a Trumpeter 32nd scale Hornet. And, oh my gosh, they get a VF-1A Valkyrie 48 scale by Hasegawa. Technically not a Jolly Rogers, but I mean, the Jolly Rogers Tomcats are what inspired the Valkyries from Macross, of course. And look at that, they did the weathering there on the wings, just like you do on a Tomcat. That's cool. And oh, here we go. Yep. Before Top Gun came along, the final countdown was the ultimate in F-14 Tomcat porn. Yeah. This is cool. Oh look. That's the Hasegawa. That's the old Legacy Hasegawa kit. That's the one I built. Nice. I'm getting kind of close. I haven't touched it in a long time, but That Academy slash Toyusha Tomcat. I need to paint the missiles if I remember right. I haven't looked at it in quite a long time. Alright, so we got your that ubiquitous comic book here, right? Yeah, that's what this is here. It's only just a few pages. And they got this lady standing in front of this plane. I don't care about that. It looks boring. It's not a fighter plane. I don't care. I don't care if it's not a fighter jet. I don't care. Meh. And, you know, there's a lot of boring articles in here. There's another sexy girl, I guess, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so there was a really cool thing in the back here. These are, what, reviews of new stuff. F4B by Fine Molds. Can you spot the differences? I don't know, man. I know I cannot. Here's that. This is a weird thing here. Oh, by Beaver Corporation. Oh my gosh. And tits. Tits. Alright. Now there was one build that was just really fantastic. They also put these weird flying devices in here, these science fiction-y type things. Evangelion, right? This is like those weird things that they kill Asuka and they rip her to shreds or whatever at the end of that movie that made me regret watching even the first episode of Evangelion. Oh, it's just so weird, man. Alright, so the designs are, this is pretty cool though, I gotta say that. McDonald F. Demon by Hobby Boss. Okay, let's take a look here. That looks nice. That's pretty cool. Now, look at this. Look at this. Okay. So, alright, so check this out. They drilled out all of these holes into the instrumentation panel, and then, right, then they're filing it down, and then look at this. This is the actual decal. They put the decal on the inside, and then they glue it with a CA glue. Right after they paint the panel, right, and then they glue it. That is such a cool idea. That really is cool. I suppose you can't do it with every kit, but at least for this kit though, that is they got away with it and it looks pretty cool. Now I think what I would have done though is fill it in with like UV resin or like white glue or something like that to make it look you know, glass-like. And I got a F8C Crusader. Oh, it's modified from an Academy 72nd scale Crusader. Okay. Huh. That's pretty cool looking. Pretty wild. So, they did a whole bunch of plastic, like Tamiya strips and stuff. I don't know why they did that. You tell me. But there you go. They really cut this open and put it on full display. That's pretty cool. Not even get a Mirage here. Minor Air Force. Well, I would say it's pretty minor. Zaire. Okay. Alright, well there you go. More Tomcats. Scale Aviation, May 2025. Yeah. Supplies! This is from Doyusha. This is anti-static tweezers. And it's the slim. Right, so it's for decals and such. And it eliminates static electricity. Isn't that nice? Oops, I ripped it. That's okay. I don't care. So let's get this out of here. Okay, there's nothing in there. So, oh, that's nice. Look at that. You can use it for doing electronics too. Okay. Alright, so let's look at this here. Fancy. Oh, and this is the reason why it's anti-static. It's because this is plastic. This is totally plastic. So it's nice and pointy. Right? And that's just to make it comfy. There we go. So this is their anti-static tweezers. That's pretty cool. Look at that. By Wave, this is the parts opener, version 2. So I have the old one, right? It's just good for larger parts. This is a finer pointed one though. Yeah, there we go. Really nice. So this is for popping open smaller pieces. What's that about? 5, 3, 2. I don't know what these are. I mean, you got like 5 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 2 millimeter holes, but I don't know what that's about. I don't know. I got it because of this, so that's pretty cool. I got the Back to the Future trilogy on Blu-ray. Look how shiny it is. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. So, yeah, I have the DVD trilogy, and it's signed by Christopher Lloyd, which is pretty awesome. The thing is, like, I think with the Back to the Future Part 2, and I don't know about Part 3, but on that original DVD, it's like, there's like these weird cropping issue. That it's just kind of strange. So, oh, look at this. Alright. How am I gonna do this? Alright, so you got like this whole image here. Alright, so you got like Monument Valley. And, there we go. That's cool. Alright, so the actual DVDs, or Blu-rays or whatever, are here. So I recently picked up the first movie on Blu-ray, but I'll probably just give that to somebody. So, look at this. The Encyclopedia of Back to the Future. And, look at that. So, bonus materials on each disc. Production notes. Of course, this is all in Japanese. Look at that interview with Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson. An interview with James Tolkien, Mr. Strickland. You're not going to see an interview from Crispin Glover though, because I don't know. I mean, rumor has it, right? The Christopher. So, I'm sorry, not Christopher. Crispin Glover. He wrote a. I don't know how authentic it is, but apparently it's real, I guess. He wrote this big essay, posted it online about how he refused to work on Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 because of Spielberg is such a raving pedophile, and he wanted to have nothing to do with it. And then that got like retracted somehow real quickly. It could be the same. I don't know what Jennifer. What's her name? Yeah, Claudia Wells. Different story, I guess. I don't know what her issue is, but she was replaced by Elizabeth Shue in the second and third movies. She did a really good job at, looking the part too, I think. So, just got a bunch of images and stuff. The Tannen family. timeline explaining all the stuff that happens, I guess. Alright, so check this out. The future. Oh, look at this. Look, it's the Blade Runner spinner. They painted it black. And it's in the set. It was used for the movie, but apparently none of the scenes, it's not visible in any of the scenes, apparently, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've looked for it, people have looked for it. I guess the consensus is, like, even though it was on the street, it just never actually made it into the final cut. So, weird, huh? Jaws 19. This time it's really, really personal. That's funny. So, yeah, there we go. Just stuff and things. Got that, newspapers and crap. So, yeah, neat stuff. Back to the Future.
That was very interesting music.
This is not a CD that I had as an audio cassette in high school or anything. I actually never got around to buying this album until now. The Smiths, Meat is Murder. Now, of course, the last song on this album is Meat is Murder, and frankly, I couldn't care less. I mean, so Morrissey is like a real vegetarian, and you know, okay, so if God did not intend us to eat animals, then why did he make them out of meat? Huh? I rest my case. So, the number one song I know from this is the Headmaster Ritual. That joke isn't funny anymore. That one's okay, I guess. It kind of drones on a little long, but it's not too bad. So the reason I bought the CD is because somebody on the 1980s nostalgia group on Gab. By the way, if you don't have a Gab account, you're missing out because it is really, really fun. I've mentioned it before on this channel that, okay, so Gab.com is a free speech alternative to Twitter. And even though Elon Musk has improved Twitter, obviously he does not totally embrace free speech because he was even zorching people who dared to criticize him about stupid crap. Gab is kind of, you know, proceed at your own risk. If you get your feelings hurt, then maybe stay away from it. But there's so many really cool groups that I'm on in there. Anyhow, so somebody posted a YouTube link to Barbarism Begins at Home, and I have to admit I am a big Smiths fan, but I don't have all of their albums. And I really fell in love with that track, and as a result, I bought this CD. And this is actually from 2011. This is remastered by Johnny Marr himself, right? Johnny Marr is the guitarist from the Smiths. So, yeah, this is a cool one to pick up. And as far as Meat is Murder, I don't think I've actually listened to this song all the way through. It's really just long and just kind of bleh, and it's just like, you know, I don't want to listen to this crap. So, if you skip that, you got 8 songs that are really great. So, there you go. And I'm happy I picked this up. I was looking for this on Rakuten, but unfortunately they don't really differentiate the different versions as well as they should, which is unfortunate because I kind of like Rakuten and I'm saving up lots of Rakuten points, but I had to unfortunately just go ahead and buy this off of Amazon Japan. Oh well, you know, I don't like Amazon, but you know, whatever. I really try my best not to buy anything from Amazon if I could help it. But because Amazon actually differentiated between the original CD version and this remastered CD, I went ahead and bought it on Amazon. So, yeah. If it really is the best way to get it, I will get it on Amazon. So, you know, don't judge me. Okay, well, here we go. This is called Singha. Okay, the original Thai beer. Bangkok, Thailand. And as you can see, it's got a Japanese labeling on here, right? I cannot remember which store I bought this at. I've had this in my fridge for at least a few weeks. So, yeah, it's from Thailand. Isn't that nice? Okay. Well, speaking of Thailand, you know, check out Thomas's channel, Super Genki. It used to be Super Genki Japan because he used to live in Japan, but now he lives in Thailand, and he does a whole lot of really, really cool travel videos about Thailand, and he also goes to China on occasion too. So yeah, Super Genki. I admit it's kind of a silly name, but especially it's you know rather Japanesey name. But then you know he moved to Thailand and all that. But anyhow, I'm rambling. So I'm not really a connoisseur lager. I don't know the difference between lagers and ales and hops and all that kind of stuff. I just go by taste. I'm really kind of stupid when it comes to beer. I just know how to put it in my stupid head. So it is really pale actually. Well, it's all right. I think I got this at Yamaya, I think, and that's the place where they have a bunch of different imported stuff. Like a few years back, I tried those Russian beers. There was like 3 of them, right? And then like one of them I liked, and the other 2 were kind of so-so. I think I got it at Yamaya, but yeah, it's not bad. By royal permission, it says here. Okay. Huh. Well, there you go. It's a pale lager, and it's fairly decent. I like it. Calling out to all you Generation Xers out there. Of course, we grew up in the best time of the golden age of game arcades, right? Starting in the late 70s all throughout the 90s. We experienced something really, truly great. And unfortunately, I mean, there are some retro arcades out there and such. But if you're thinking, hey, you know, why don't they just make games like they used to, right? Because they were fun. And, you know, why don't they just make games that are true to like the old arcade games that we grew up playing? Well, they do actually make games like that, and you're looking at this here is called Galacticon. I took a video of this and put this on my Odysee channel, and as you can see here, it's very reminiscent of like Joust and Defender, or Defender / Stargate. And it's pretty fun. So yeah, they actually do make these type of games. A lot of indie game developers that try their best to capture the old arcade spirit, and you can find these games on Steam. So again, I have a video of this on my Odysee account, and I will be making more of these videos. I've done a few of them so far, and there are more of these games, and I'd like to feature them on my Odysee channel. So go over to my Odysee channel, and I can provide a link for my Odysee exclusive gaming videos for you to watch. So yeah, check it out, okay? So apparently Microsoft has backed down on their stringent TPM chip requirements for Windows 11. I guess there was enough pushback, and I think they were listening to a lot of the same sources that I had been, saying that this could be the year where they lose a significant market share to Linux because of their hardware requirements for upgrading to Windows 11. All I could say is, though, is that, you know, just look at how that company has treated you, and just consider that. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you know, there was that video by PewDiePie, and he talked about how Adobe, and I had heard about this. They, like, you're basically paying them to use the software. You don't actually own it. You actually, like, pay like a subscription to use Adobe. And when he canceled it, they charged him a cancellation fee. That is just insane. I didn't even know about that until I watched that video. That is just crappy. That is so crappy. Adobe, just the way that they treat people, it's rather just offensive. So yeah, if you make your voice heard, you can choose alternatives. And you know, before I switched to Linux, I had this idea that it was just mostly just kind of like crappy shareware type quality, and no, it's actually not. It's not like that at all. It's actually rather decent quality, and yeah, I really can't complain. It is really cool. The amount of free stable software that you can open yourself up to when you switch to Linux, and you don't even have to switch to Linux to do so. You know, like I was using all these freeware, like I was using OpenOffice for my Office documents and such. I was using GIMP for image manipulation. I was using Shotcut for my videos. So I just noticed, though, that when I did make the switch to Linux, all of those programs were so much faster on Linux. Just comparing when I had Windows 7 to when I switched to Linux, they were far faster, far stabler as well. They just worked so much better. So yeah, you can make the switch. I know I have a friend who says, oh, you know, Adobe, it just makes everything so much easier. But, you know, he has a fixed income because he's semi-retired and such. For GIMP, I didn't even know this, but PewDiePie mentioned that there are plugins that you can install that will make it feel more closely to using Adobe Photoshop. So yeah, unless you're like super duper tied into like whatever video games you're playing on your computer, you know, just there's always a trade-off. You know, there's some stuff you have to say goodbye to. One thing I really miss is a program called Photoscape, and that made just quick image manipulation very easy to do, and it's much better than GIMP, I think, especially when you want to make like just quick memes and such. So yeah, there are some things that I do miss with Windows. However, considering that I feel so much freer without the Microsoft in my life, yeah, I'm not looking back at all. So you have until October of this year to ditch Windows, and I would recommend doing it before that. You know, get your feet wet first to see what it's like. Don't jump into like Arch Linux and all these other like difficult type of distributions. You know, if you're coming from Windows, stick to Linux Mint. That's probably your best way to go. I mean, that's what you see behind me. I don't know, this is RetroPie, but I just have it installed on my Mint computer. So anyhow, I guess that's it for this video. It's getting probably close to 2 hours by now, so hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. You know, these are kind of like live streams that aren't live, right? So I only upload these videos once a month, basically. So if you stuck around to the end, let me know. I always like to hear from those who do. So until the next one, I'll catch you later. Bye.